What's going on, everybody? Respawn Gentleman here. So Techland just released a massive update to the game. Community update number 2 is here, so let's dive right into all the awesome details that we're getting. So here we are on the Techland GG website. Now the first thing I want to mention is we now have legend levels in the game. 100% for a fact, it is there. They work exactly like they did in Dying Light 1, so if you enjoy the legend levels, we get more of it now too. So that's super awesome. We also got cross-gen for Xbox and PlayStation, which is absolutely massive. So now if you're on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, you can play together, or Xbox One and Xbox Series consoles, you can play together. This is super awesome. Don't know why this wasn't there day one, but people have been asking for it since then, and now it's here. The next step is just adding cross-platform, and then everything will be great. They also added a whole bunch of information here, which I'll go over some of the key points, and I'll leave a link for this down in the description in case you want to read through everything. But basically, the first section talks about Ragdoll Physics and AI reaction improvements. So like new Ragdoll code that more realistically applies to the force of hits. So that is kind of changed a little bit better. And then changes to AI behavior around ledges of building and stuff like that. So they've kind of made some updates to Ragdolls and things like that, which is great because people have been asking for that for a while. One thing I'm not 100% sure is this one dynamic competitions are back. Please let me know in the comments below if you ever used dynamic competitions in Dying Light 1, because apparently it's from there and I don't remember that at all. So if you remember what those are, definitely let me know in the comments below. Now we have some of the highlights they want to talk about here. Like, for example, cutscenes can be skipped holding down the dedicated button. So now you don't have to like mash the button to get through each dialogue. You can just skip the entire thing, which is huge, especially for speedrunners. The hazmat biters now won't explode instantly when hit with a weapon using fire or electric mods. This is great because that's super annoying. It was one of the most annoying things whenever you hit one and they just explode. Another big one here is players can now determine any amount of crafted items, not only one or all. So basically before you can either craft one of the item or as many as you possibly could. So now you can actually craft however many you want to rather than kind of one or all. So that's really great. Probably the biggest one on here, right here. Players can now instantly kill grabbing biters with the stab skill upgrade. So when you get the stab skill upgrade, you can actually stab them and kill them, and so you can break out of grabs a lot easier. This is super huge and massive. They also added some on-screen icons for whenever you do get grabbed, so it'll kind of show you what your options are. But they improved that kind of also along with right here lowered biter grabbing frequency, which is massive because it was an extremely big problem, and now that that is taken care of, we shouldn't have to deal with that crap anymore. Another big one that was really annoying, especially when fighting banshees, was the ability to dodge when looking up. You didn't have that ability. When you looked up past a certain angle, it wouldn't let you dodge. You would just jump, and it would cause a lot of problems. Now you're able to do that, so fighting banshees will be a lot easier, especially when they jump at you from above. A couple other things right here. Rare trophies now drop more often, which, you know, that's always been something people have been looking for. So that will help with, you know, upgrading blueprints and things like that. The other thing is we've got a new pilgrim outfit, which is the outfit that Aiden wears when you start a brand new game. So now you should have that in your stash. So next we'll talk about some co-op updates. This one's actually a pretty big one. It says any player can now use the host's Night Runner tools during a co-op session, regardless of the personal progression in single player. So that means that if you haven't finished the single player campaign or haven't gotten to the point where you unlock certain tools and you join someone's game who has those, then you can use them as well, which is really nice, because it's really annoying when other people can use stuff and you can't. Another thing they changed is challenges should now end for all players if one completes it. This is to fix some bugs where it wouldn't complete, and also I think this actually kind of makes some of the duplication glitches no longer workable. I will be testing those this week and have a video on all the working glitches coming soon. But that could prevent those from working. Another one that's kind of along those lines for the glitches, it says fixed immunity exploit after repeatedly healing, no more god mode. This was an invincibility glitch you could do by healing your partner in co-op, and then you'd become invincible, and it was great. But looks like that has been fixed, so that one no longer works. Another good one right here is on the Let's Waltz mission. The rope that you use is actually replaced with a monkey bar, so that way it prevents players from falling to their death and blocking the quest progress. So that's actually huge, because it sucks when your quest progress is blocked and then you have to like restart. So that should be fixed now, so hopefully you can get through that mission. So this next one, I'm not a giant fan of this one. It says the player healing his moved friend won't get dragged down anymore. In other words, healing is stopped if the patient runs away. So I actually liked that feature before, you know, because you can be healing someone and they could run off and kind of do stuff and they would still get that health bonus. Whereas now you're forced to make sure they stay in place and they don't move while you're healing them, which does make the game more challenging, I guess you could say, but at the same time, I like the other way better. So next we're talking about some gameplay stuff. They address the issue of players being unable to craft lockpicks despite the free space. I never came across that issue, but that should be fixed, anybody who did. The barbed wires around the Huntress camp will now inflict damage, which they didn't before. Kind of weird that they didn't, but now it does, so just don't step on them, even though they barely do any damage at all. This one was technically actually fixed in the last patch, they just never mentioned it. The crossbow in the Harper's Elite mission now has a finite amount of ammo, so it's not an infinite amount of ammo. I did have videos on that, but in the last patch it was actually fixed, but they're just mentioning it now. Kicks are now a little bit faster and more powerful, so you can use them more often. Now onto the technical stuff here. This is a big one. The game will no longer use DRM protection, so that's actually really huge. We've got NVIDIA DLSS3 support, which is awesome as well. They also fixed some stuff for PlayStation 5 and Bloody Ties, basically having it load properly. And just kind of looking at the rest of this, it's mostly just a lot of visual effects and graphics improvements and enhancements and optimizations and things like that. Now onto the UI changes, they actually added quest markers for Portrait of a Hangover, which they didn't previously. I do have a video on that quest if you're curious to check out all the locations, but now you should have quest markers, so it should be a lot easier to complete that quest. Now there's a 7th health bar for if you have over 600 health, which honestly I didn't even notice that was a thing before. So there you go. And then another one that they kind of changed here was they clarified quest objectives in the master side quest from the DLC, which is good because there wasn't a lot of clarification. It just says go complete the challenges, and it doesn't tell you which ones to do. You just have to know which ones you got to do, and that's kind of really annoying. So I'm glad that they actually have that fixed now. So that was everything that they included in the patch notes for this video. I'm probably going to have another video about the update coming out again, talking about any secret changes they did mention, as well as the anniversary update, kind of what they're going to be talking about during the stream, and kind of all that information for future stuff. There's going to be a whole lot more videos coming out, so definitely stay tuned. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.